Bien le bonjour, c'est Gramolzulu pour une deuxième prise sur ce fabuleux jeu qui est Bomberman. On le connaît, on commence à en avoir un petit peu trop, peut-être l'habitude pour certains spectateurs, mais c'est un jeu de cœur, donc je ne vais pas renoncer. Il faut pas rêver, c'est bien trop exceptionnel de tomber sur un titre avec lequel ça colle durablement. J'ai attendu ça peut-être 25 ans. Dans ma longue et sinistre vie, un Bomberman sur PC et tout. Donc non, voilà. Hello Jason, welcome. It took me some time to answer you because I was eating a biscuit and I didn't want to be rude. How are you? What time is it by your side? Here it's close to 2 p.m. in France. But it's more or less morning for me too, so I suppose I'm a bit Floridan too. Oh, damn. I try to practice a little bit on the latest Bomberman game that is free on the Nintendo Switch and PC at least. It has to be said that Bomberman is one of my all-time favorite games, so I was very happy to see this game appearing those days. 8 a.m. Okay. It's very nice of you to pay a visit before going to work. Oh, I don't respect my international viewer on this game because usually I tend to go much farther, but I wasn't into. I guess it's not the distraction of the chat. It's more the biscuit and the coffee. I was too focused on the apricot biscuit and very very light coffee, and my power in the game was lessened in the process. Oh yeah, I was very suspicious of that episode, Bomberman 64, at the time, but it seems that it wasn't necessarily for good reasons because I heard good feedback much later. But the fact the camera angle was a bit different was pretty disturbing for me. That at the time was only used to the 2D episodes, the classic ones, and as I didn't own the console on top of that, I didn't try it. But it seems that a pretty decent amount of people discovered the franchise with this episode, actually, which can be very surprising, but I don't have any specific habits with coffee. I tend to have a bit of sugar in general. Otherwise, I can like really all kind of coffee. I'm pretty open with that, and the biscuits are just cheap industrial biscuits. I don't know how to say it in American. It's like small pies with jam. Jam is maybe is the English word. When you put a lot of sugar and a lot of fruit. I don't know. I don't know the word at the moment for this mixture. So yes, I was just taking that, finishing my meal. Usually I play Bomberman around 1 p.m. because it's a perfect game to queue after the lunch. And in the evenings, as you know, I'm more into longer plays of Morrowind. But I think in the upcoming days, I will show different games, new games. I have a lot of demos I didn't try, which is a shame because it's free. I downloaded them. But when you broadcast this way, especially if you're an amateur like me, any sound setting can be very boring. While you think it's pretty much simple in theory, when you want to balance the sound of the mic and the game, set the proper settings of the game, etc., you can add easily 45 minutes before even broadcasting, which kills any spontaneity. As I have a more stable setup now, it's less a problem, but still I kind of have some apprehension with novelties. But I know it was a strength on my channel to show very different form of games. And of course, for the viewers, it was less boring too. So let's hope this will bring all the veterans here, and of course newcomers. Too bad. I think it's the first time I am trying to speak English while playing Bomberman, and I must say it's kind of a challenge because for Morrowind you can take your time, but here it's kind of a dangerous situations kind of game, so you must be on point. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. Actually, I had oh la 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 la. I had a good advice from Éclusier, and And I changed a bit, pushed a bit louder the volume on the mic, and so I can be more natural and without annoying my neighborhood too much, because I am in a very old building, so the walls are very thin, and it's easy to to bother the neighbors. Versatile coffee, man. Yeah, a bit. Even if I make a clear distinction between quality and cheapness in terms of coffee, as for many different things, because food is kind of my own personal religion. But when it comes to tea, for example, a product I want to know much more. I usually don't add anything. I am interested into trying the the whole taste of the leaves. And I guess for a coffee specialist, it can be a bit the same. But I don't see me diving very deep into the coffee universe, even if I had a very strong and memorable experiences in good coffee shops. And yes, Bomberman is kind of way more fast-paced, especially during the late games. At the beginning, quite often you can take your time. Here, most obviously, people weren't sleeping for a change, so it's nice. Apart from safe for my points of experience. But well, at this point, I don't mind, because next week all my score will be reset. Because as for many seasonal service games like Fortnite, Rocket League, there will be a second season. The game was released late May, after I think a year on Stadia, the Google service, and so I will start from scratch from there next Wednesday, I think. I'll check Saint Augustine to look at what the buildings look like. For quite some time, and I'd like to resume that habit. I was going a bit randomly on Wikipedia to check many places in different countries, just to see pictures of different architectures I didn't know, or even very common streets, to have a taste of what it's like to live in another place. I had started, I don't remember how it came, but with a city in South Namibia that's called Swakopmund. It's a former German colony, I think, with buildings from, I guess, 1920s. It's kind of weird in a Disneyland way, but not as obvious as Disneyland. But I will write you the name of the city if you want to check by yourself. And this experience brought me to think that I could do the same with many different places. I'm pretty sure there are very obvious choices I didn't made on my process, but it's kind of great. I was mostly checking Wikipedia for that and for picture of paintings a couple of years ago, and I'd like to maybe I don't know set a collection of that on a Twitter account or I don't know, but I have too much going on in my head to add more silly projects. But that's what your message inspired me. And I think it's very healthy and important to have a connection with the past in terms of building, of knowledge. But when it comes to noise reduction, alas, I don't necessarily recommend living in an old building this way. Yet, apart from this, I am very lucky because I have a great light, clean distinction for when it comes to rooms for kind of a small place. So I try to stay kind of quiet, even when I'm on Twitch, and that's why the tone of my voice, for those who knew me before, has kind of changed. We're closer to ASMR every day. Ooh. I'm afraid I can be very e-sport when I'm talking in English with this game. But it's a real problem for me when I talk in a foreign language. But of course, it's always English because I can only speak in English and French. I tend to become very absorbed, very focused on the. Yeah, that's what astounded me, is that it feels absolutely European, but it's in Southwest Africa with this unique light. The light is very beautiful, I think. And for the beach, I was reading once that it's quite not recommended because there are many sharks there. So if you happen to go to Swakopmund one day, please stay on the beach. Don't go too much into the sea. Actually, I could have a talk about loudness, but when I arrived, there were many evenings dedicated to party for my neighborhood under my apartment. So we are not on good terms at the moment, but since the last argument, it's pretty quiet. So I try to live by my own example and the agreement we have with the landlord, because not everyone can live this way, of course. A family with children, it would be impossible for them to live where I am. But it's great too because it prevents me to spend my whole life on on Twitch playing Bomberman. So I try to quantify a bit my appearance, appearances. Sorry, my God, it's so difficult to speak in English. But it's a great training because I can be a bit monomaniac, even for bad things at times, and I have too much important stuff to do with my life at the moment. But I thought it could be great to build a new everyday routine with part of silly habits, silly harmless habits. And Twitch at the moment it's pretty much this. It has a good impact on my mood quite sometimes too. So we are at this point, but you're right, it could evolve. Too bad. With a bit of talking, I let time pass for the moment, and I will see later. Yeah, I don't want to go too much into fighting because I did that a lot, almost a whole year before arriving where I am now. It's pretty recent. I arrived in my current place on June 22, and I was in this new city I'm in now since August 13, 2020. So it's pretty dangerous to get stuck with this character we had, which is Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2, because he can't kill you just with his power. He doesn't need bombs or anything. Okay. Oh, we are at the 3rd place. So it's not bad for an English-speaking stream. Yeah. Our opponent is not bad. I guess I have my chances, but yeah, 1st place. It's dedicated to you, Jason. Long live Florida. Long live cheap coffee with dubious biscuits. I guess I'm going to play a couple of matches and go to adult life. Salut Mehdi, comment ça va? C'est un stream bilingue international aujourd'hui car nous accueillons aussi Jason de Floride, à qui j'expliquais ma vie de locataire lillois. À savoir qu'avant ce direct-là, qui se passe plutôt bien, il y en avait eu un autre de 30 minutes qui était très chonchon, et j'ai supprimé l'archive direct, et je me suis dit, repartons sur des bonnes bases, on va pas se quitter sur une fausse note. Et voilà. Parce que les gens sont méchants. En fait, il y a des tendances dans Bomberman, il y a des modes. Et en ce moment, la mode, c'est les gens qui balancent les bombes. Par exemple, s'ils sont à gauche, ils arrivent à les balancer à droite en traversant l'écran. Et, euh, et du coup, là, c'est la mode. Et il y a plein de casse-bonbons dans ce style. Donc du coup, voilà, j'étais pas très content. Mais là, ça va mieux. On a fait 2 top 1, je crois, donc ça va. Après, je ne suis pas qu'un joueur de score, hein, bien entendu, surtout que là, bon, ben, ma réputation est faite, mais je me disais, je serais un petit peu mitigé si je terminais la saison sur Diamant 4. Diamant 3, ça me va, mais il faut encore que je consolide ce statut avec des petits points, pour ne pas... oh, mais toujours, bien sûr, en toute amitié, bien sûr, mes joueurs de cœur, mais pour ne pas, justement, voilà, partir encore une fois sur une fausse note. Um, well, if it's expressed a polite and decent way, why not? We are here to have conversations. Uh, we might not agree, but no, feel free. But no, Jason, that I don't follow information at all. I just heard about the war in Afghanistan yesterday, maybe. So I'm not the most informed person to talk about this, but yeah, feel free to share. Our conversations were so far so good in my opinion, so I tend to trust what's to come, but of course when it's announced this way on such a topic can be a bit scary, but it's not like I was a great professional in front of 2,000 millions of viewers. I can tell you, whatever happens, it's already not the worst broadcast I have made, that's for sure. We have a long history of lame broadcast here, so we can afford a politic discussion. Comment ça se passe de ton côté, Mehdi, avec tous ces nouveaux projets qui se profilent? Est-ce que l'été te traite bien? Je sens qu'on va avoir un magnifique paragraphe copie double de notre ami Jason. Eh bien, on peut pas dire que les bonus, ça soit super la fête. Bon, d'accord. Un peu cassé niveau rythme avec des joueurs un peu HS et d'autres plus boostés. Ah, je te souhaite que ça se stabilise et que le côté cassé puisse s'adoucir. Globalement, j'avance sereinement. Bonne nouvelle. Comment les gens ont réagi à ce nouveau changement de branding, j'ai envie de dire, avec le nouveau nom et tout? Oh, j'ai failli faire de grosses bêtises. Alors là, j'essaye de lire l'analyse politique de notre correspondant américain Jason, tout en défonçant des gens à Bomberman. Je peux vous dire que c'est assez technique, mais c'est bien en fait. C'est comme Sangoku quand il se met des uniformes qui pèsent 500 tonnes et après il dit ah, mais en fait j'étais pas au maximum de ma puissance. Voilà, il se met des petits handicaps d'entraînement et après il arrive et il casse l'univers en deux. Yeah, I see what you mean, Jason. Actually, I'm not sure we call it the same way in French media. Not that French media are perfect, of course not. Far from this, but I completely see where you're coming from. So ooh, it's okay for me to view it this way. So far. Ouais, de ce podcast, je trouvais pas ça si difficile à prononcer non plus. Hein. Yeah, maybe there's kind of an heated aspect because there were new steps recently, and maybe the treatment will be different after this, because I remember for different events that was also the case, different historical events. At the beginning it was very passionate, and after this the way people or media talked about those same events was more nuanced. But I guess there are kind of small scale wars too, and that maybe if the situation escalates, those numbers you quoted can only be a first step into a much more global conflict, and that's maybe the cause of the fear that's related to the recent events there in Afghanistan, as well as the fact that it's a part of the world that has lived many tragedies since the last 50 years. There are some zones in the history that are more unfortunately victims of conflicts, and it might be on top of the involvement of the US Army since 20-30 years, I don't remember. It might be the fact that as the cards are changing on the table, yeah, I don't even know how to speak English properly. I try metaphors, yeah. It's maybe the fear that could be what we call in French a domino theory, with one thing leading to another, and with all this instability. Bomberman et géopolitique, quoi. Celle-là, on l'avait pas encore faite. Géopolitique en anglais. Après, voilà, en tant que correspondant pakistanais, il fallait quand même bien que je mette mon grain de sel, c'est sûr, mais... Yeah, I see what you mean. Even if I'm not as much informed and involved as you, as an American, but from the outside, one can argue is war ever justified? But the those wars like Iraq or Afghanistan, uh, lo- more or less launched by the U.S. government, um, uh, often seemed questionable for some people as the not very best solution, but I guess reality and politics are absolutely not a matter of best solution, but trying stuff maybe. But I completely understand and accept this opinion of yours. Maybe in your country it's more it can seem more unpatriotic, or I don't know, but for us French people, I would say it's not problematic or even controversial. It's just your opinion, actually. Doing bombardment politics. I try, but it's completely for moments and improvised concept like this. I'm dead. That I launched the channel. It was not to become an entertainer with thousands of cash on my bank accounts, which is a mistake, I know, but I'm an eternal and anti-hero, so. But I have two good friends, distant friends, internet friends, but still friends in the US and in Brazil. And I often try to think without being able how it's like to live such historical events as Bush Jr. Accessing to the White House, or Trump, or wars like this. I was speaking about Brazil because the current president, Bolsonaro, it's unbelievable, and it's not much spoken of in the French media, at least, compared to the absolutely catastrophic management that's going on for some years now, a couple of years, I think. And even if I don't become a better politics specialist, I try to think that there are different things lived by different people in different parts of the world, because I wouldn't feel so smart or easy if I was to quote what we were saying in Afghanistan, or in Syria, or in Iran, or even in the US. I think my mind and my context would be completely changed. But in France, we had other specificities, I guess. The many protests with gilets jaunes, yellow vests, I guess, from 2018. Different political stuff. Maybe it was less talked on an international level, but it made a very unique atmosphere living in France those past years, for sure. And now we have the specter of far right rising to the highest level, because the other political parties are not strong enough to prevent that. It seems, at least, things can change, but as in France, we have a very stupid, well, more or less stupid tradition of changing side when we are not happy, and we are of course never happy because the politics going on. How can you be happy with that for the past 40 years? If people want to change from the current president, which is Emmanuel Macron, now they have far right. At least that's what it seems. The concept is there. It has been there for some time, if you want. But for example, last elections in 2017, the last run of the election were Macron versus far right, and that's very, very problematic. And people already discussed that at the time, because they had in mind that if Macron was doing shit, which is done pretty zealously, that was a complete open door for the far right. And to remember what happened when the far right accessed to the last round of the elections, because some very, very questionable assaults felt much more confident all of a sudden. I can only dread what would happen if those morons were running the Elysee, which is the top office of the government. So we have we have our troubles too, but compared to maybe waves of immigrants pushed back, like it seems to had happened with Trump, with a wall, or Amazonian forest completely being crushed for economic interests, or gay people or protesters, simple protesters, being beaten by police legally on the street, or killed, even killed, like in Brazil. Yeah, but we have many stuff to talk and to do, and I'm not sure it will go in a great direction, to be honest. Voilà, tout simplement, tranquille. I just finished this part of the game, and I will read and reply. I'm sorry, but as you can see, the Mr. or the Madam is very angry. And quite skilled too. Quand même, ouais. No. For the yellow vests, the fuel prices were just a spark, but the yellow vests were actually with kind of the same form, many different movements, and so it's very it's a very complex phenomenon. So no, it was not about the price. It started with fuel prices, as a spark of revolt, but soon there were professional with hospitals, workers that weren't being paid enough because laws with work have changed those past 15 years here, and so it's more flexible for companies, but it's more dangerous for workers. But you wouldn't be surprised as an American, because actually it's just getting the French system closer to the American one, which for us is a complete menace, tragedy. I don't know how to say it. We don't have the same value or rights. Oh, damn. I must focus, but I will reply patiently. Just now. Actually, just now. Top 4, yeah. Thanks for coming, Jason. Have a nice day of work. I hope I was clear in my speaking, because it's very difficult to talk about such complex topics when it's not your foreign, when it's not your mother tongue. Sorry. If you're not with us, you're against us. Mindset. I didn't get that line. Yeah, it's completely possible to disagree without being aggressive, but there were some classes in France that were crushed, and Yellow Vest was a reaction to that, and to the arrogance of the government, and the very, very bad and frightening way things were evolving, and they continued to evolve this way, actually. So thanks for coming. It was a great experience. And have a nice day, and see you soon. Allez, on s'en fait une dernière et j'y vais. Voilà, c'est pour ça que c'est bien Twitch. C'est pour faire des trucs qui marchent pas trop, mais qui sont quand même vachement intéressants, quoi. En plus, voilà, de notre projet commercial Morrowind, Ronald Cocoa, qui est quand même notre poule aux œufs d'or, hein, vraiment le point magnétique d'attraction entertainment que le monde entier nous envie. Que diront les gens quand on balancera un troisième, un quatrième, un cinquième personnage dans Morrowind? J'ai un peu perdu le fil sur ce que je voulais leur faire faire d'ailleurs. Mais il y en a un que je vais peut-être reprendre là. Mon seul problème avec Morrowind, c'est que quand je veux me débloquer, je joue hors antenne. Et quand je joue hors antenne, bien sûr, tout se passe bien et je me débloque et je vais très vite. Du coup, en fait, les meilleurs moments, on les voit pas en direct. Et en plus, quand je reprends le direct, si je reprends à partir de ces sauvegardes, eh ben, on est vachement plus loin et on comprend plus rien du tout. Ou alors, il faut que je me retape tout ce que j'ai fait. Donc, des TikTok Cocoa, bien sûr. Non, il y a des trucs à faire, mais en fait, je suis assez partagé. Parce que je suis déjà plus la même personne que j'étais quand j'ai repris le stream il y a 2 semaines. Vu que j'étais complètement éclaté et que j'avais rien de mieux à faire que ces débilités. Mais là, si, et en fait, j'ai un peu moins envie, parce que c'est vrai que c'est pas mal de jouer à des jeux vidéo. Mais bon, là, j'ai un test à écrire pour Gameside Story. J'ai du boulot à chercher, j'ai un CV à refaire, voilà. Donc, on va s'y mettre, mais quand même, une petite dernière pour redescendre de cette montée en concentration américanophone. Puis en fait, après, je crois que je vais faire du vélo, parce que c'est toujours bien de s'aérer vachement la tête avant de se mettre à bosser. Puis il est que 14h41, ça va. Godzilla, je le vois souvent aussi. Mais c'est bizarre parce qu'il est toujours 5 bronzes alors qu'il est pas si mauvais. Il doit se créer des nouveaux comptes tout le temps, ou je sais pas. Des fois, il relance des parties, il se laisse mourir dans un coin. En tout cas, il a pas un niveau bronze 5, ça c'est sûr. Comme on peut le voir à la façon dont il a fumé notre ami rouge en haut à droite de l'écran. Ouais, j'ai pas eu le gant de boxe, c'est dommage. Ouais, bah en fait, comme un jeu de combat, comme Rocket League, comme tous les jeux, hein, vu que c'est un jeu avec des stratégies et des dimensions de réflexe, sans mentir, c'est complètement un jeu e-sport, hein, Bomberman, hein, potentiellement. Donc ouais, il y a vraiment tout un univers de langage vidéoludique, en termes de situation et de stratégie qui s'offre à nous. Et je suis surpris qu'on ne le comprenne pas plus. Bon, après, bon voilà, hein, si ça branche pas les gens visuellement ou quoi, je peux comprendre, mais pour moi c'est de l'or en barre quoi. Bomberman c'est vraiment la folie furieuse. Franchement, s'ils ressortaient un remaster euh, de Tekken 2, comme ils ont fait le Virtua Fighter en low poly là et tout, avec un mode online compétitif et tout, mais là je pourrais vraiment devenir un joueur e-sport quoi. J'ai déjà des sponsors avec mes subs. Oui, oui, mais c'est son défaut de popularité qui me... Comparé à ce que moi, ça me semble être dans l'histoire et dans la puissance du concept Bomberman, je trouve ça quand même dingue que ça soit encore relativement confidentiel. Mais après, bon, les gens font bien ce qu'ils veulent, hein. Hop, 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 hop. Ça m'empêche pas de m'amuser en tout cas. Apparemment, on est dans un retour de la mode des pyramides head. Ça nous avait pas du tout manqué. Voilà, merci. Ça, on s'en doutait. C'est pour ça qu'on a mis des bombes, histoire de le fumer quand même. Oh là 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 là. Eh ben, c'était un dernier match super nul, derrière lequel je ne vais pas renchérir. Parce que point trop d'infos, on a déjà passé une heure assez intensive, peut-être même plus qu'intensive que de faire du Doom 2016. Une dernière, bon bah non, dommage, désolé mais non. Non, il faut essayer de... Tu sais, j'ai un vrai problème avec le fait de savoir m'arrêter à temps, donc non. Mais je te souhaite une excellente après-midi et je te dis à très bientôt Mehdi. Merci beaucoup d'être venu, bye.